today we're going to learn to draw a Christmas penguin. And I've got 3 different Sharpies here. You don't have to have 3 different Sharpies, but I've got a few different sizes. I've got one, this is kind of a regular marker size, a regular Sharpie. Lets me make the majority of my lines. I've got one that is little bitty and tiny. Let me make some small details. And I've got one that's large, and this is going to let me make some of my biggest outlines. So one of the reasons we want different size markers or pencils or crayons might be to give it our drawings a little bit more depth, but you don't have to have it. Whatever you have to draw with is good by you. So let's start out by drawing our penguin's eyes. And so what I'm going to do is go in the middle of our page, right in the center this way. I'm going to go about a quarter of the way down, and I'm going to make 2 ovals. Roughly about the same size. Mine may not be exactly the same size, but we're human, and so there's a little bit of shakiness and air that comes in with things, but we just go with that. We're not machines. So inside those eyes, what we're going to do is make a couple of small little circles inside there. And those are going to be the highlights of our eyes. So let's go in then with your color, and let's color those eyes in dark. I'm leaving that little circle white inside there. That gives the eye a bit of depth. Doesn't make it look like just a flat black circle. So then the next thing we want to do is about halfway between the eyes. Gonna put my marker down, and I'm going to draw just kind of a simple little curve, like so. I'm going to do the same thing and go to the other side. Simple little curve like so. And then I'm going to go here and draw down to the center. Same thing here, a little line, draw down to the center. And that's going to be the top of the beak for our penguin. So then underneath it, I'm going to draw bottom of his beak like he's got his mouth open and he's kind of smiling a bit. So we start to the corner and draw a curved line down to about the middle. Same thing on the other side. So for the most part, what you're going to see with our penguin is whatever we do on this side, we're going to duplicate on this side. Called symmetry. It means our drawing is symmetrical. This side is roughly the same as this side. You'll see one little thing that'll change in there, but for the most part it'll be identical on the left and right halves. So then this is the orange part of his beak. I'm gonna kind of put another little curve inside there for the inside of his mouth to give it a little bit of depth. I'm also going to color it in. And then what I'm going to do from there is I'm going to draw a line that goes underneath my penguin face. This penguin's going to be wearing a scarf. So what I'm going to do is draw the top of that scarf in right now by making kind of a fairly wide line, because it's got to be wide enough to go around the penguin's body, which we haven't put in yet. So we've got the top of the scarf in right there. So what I'm going to do from here is go to this line. I'm going to draw up roughly to about the midpoint, the center that we've been working with for his eyes. So I'm going to go up to about there. Okay. Then I'm going to bring it down, and again try to make it look as symmetrical as I can. But it doesn't have to be. In fact, mine's not 100% symmetrical. So then what we're going to do is put some black areas into his head here by going right here, right above his eyes. Going to kind of go right in the middle, right here, and I'm going to put my marker down. I'm going to draw up, kind of like eyebrows, but I'm going to come all the way over here. Same thing with the other side. Go back to that middle spot, go up, and then all the way over to here. So I mentioned that what that curved line was right here, that's the beginning of our scarf. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to go a little bit above on the left side. We're going to go a little bit above where that beginning of the scarf is, and I'm going to draw a little hook that comes out like so, a little curved line, and I'm going to draw down, not very long. And that's going to be the side of my scarf. And I'm going to do the same over here on the right side. I'm going to go a little bit above where his scarf and his head meet. I'm going to draw a hook above and down. I'm not going to finish it out just yet. So I'm going to go right over here on the right side of the scarf, and I'm going to draw just kind of a curved line that turns into a straight line, goes down right there. And then I'm going to move a little bit over. Same thing. Go in there. Connect those lines right there. So here's where I'm going to switch markers. I'm going to get my little one. You don't have to, but I'm going to make his scarf have a little bit of yarn there, or strings hanging out the end. And so with my smaller pen, it makes it look a little bit softer. So we're going to go ahead and close that out. Get this pin back. So then what we want to do, we have the left side of our scarf and the right side of our scarf, and what we want to make them do is connect. So I'm going to kind of draw a curved line. I'm going to kind of follow this top line and draw a curved line all the way over till I meet that part of the scarf that we just got done drawing that drapes over. I'm going to jump over there, and we're going to kind of pretend that it's there, and then I'm going to put my marker back down, connect it right there. I'm going to grab my little marker again, and then what we're going to do is give it just one or two little lines right there, so it looks like it's tucked in there a little bit. Okay, so then what we're going to do is go back down here beneath the scarf, and we're going to draw the rest of the penguin's body. So I'm going to draw curved line that comes around. You can go as far down as you want. Some penguins are fatter at the bottom, some are skinnier at the top, some are just kind of the same size like mine is today. So what we're going to do is go down where we stopped at the bottom. I'm going to keep on drawing up, and what I want to do, I want to make sure that I stay inside this area. I want the scarf to go over. The scarf is wider than his body. It's on top of his body, so it sticks out just a little bit. So what we're going to do here, we're going to kind of pretend that this line right here on the left side of his head, where we had his black, jumps down here. What we're going to do is go down here and draw a little curved area that's going to be the white of the penguin's body. So this area right here going to be black eventually. This area be white. So once we start getting everything darkened in with whatever you've got to draw with, whether it's just a pencil or a marker or crayon, you'll have a little bit more depth. So down here we want to put his feet in. We're going to go really simple on the feet. We're just going to draw kind of a squished football shape going out like that, and then coming back in. So we won't connect it because we don't see the entire foot. Part of his leg is behind his body right there. We'll do the same thing over here. Come out, squished football shape, come back in like so. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is put in his hands, and our penguin's going to be happy raising his hands up in the air like so. And we're just going to give him little wings real fast. So we're going to go over here on the right side where the scarf and the body meet. I'm going to put my marker right there. I'm going to draw a curve up like so. I'm going to go about even with the eyes. And then I'm going to go down a little bit, almost to where on mine where the end of my scarf is. You can go down as far as you want, but what we're going to do is draw up, and we're going to kind of curve toward that first line that we made, and then we're going to have them meet like so. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to put our marker or pencil or pen or crayon or whatever you're drawing is right where the body and the penguin scarf meets, and we're going to draw up that little curve. Again, trying to keep it about even with top of the eyes there. And then we're going to go down. What I'm going to do is kind of visually measure, go over here where this is, and kind of bring my marker over here. Draw around like so. So that finishes out the basic shape of our penguin, but if we want it to look a little bit more realistic, what you might do is if you've got a marker, if you've got a fatter marker like I do right here, you can color them in. Now I'm not going to color mine in completely solid black, partly because I don't want my marker to bleed through. If you're using a marker, particularly a Sharpie, be really careful if you're drawing on mom or dad's table or floor that it doesn't bleed through your paper. I've got a pretty thick piece of paper here, so I don't think it's going to bleed through much, but what I'm going to do is just kind of scribble my dark color in there. And I could go in and make it solid if I wanted to, but I'm going to scribble in my dark color here too. I'll go through there, fill in as much as I can. I get a little bit slower once we're to those edges, but I can go pretty fast there in the middle. And also, when we scribble it like this, it gives the penguin a little bit more texture. You know, penguins, they're not made of metal or plastic. They're made of hair and feathers. So we're go in and give those scribbles. It gives them a little bit more texture. They don't look as flat. So what I'm doing with my lines here, I'm going to kind of follow the shape of my penguin's head a little bit. Go down here, same thing. You can make long lines or short lines, whatever you want. It's definitely easier if you use a fatter marker or pen or something like that. Let me show you what happens if I do it with the little one. I'm not getting very far very fast. It works, but I'm not getting very far very fast. So our big ones let us cover more ground faster. We can make a thicker line more often. Okay, I'm almost done filling this in. Alright, so there is our Christmas penguin. Last thing I'd tell you guys to do is, if you've ever heard me do one of my drawing lessons before, what I tell you to do to finish it off is always sign your name. And there we are. Thanks for drawing along with me today, and I hope you have a good day. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for drawing with me today. You can subscribe to my newsletter to get more art fun. Just go to brianmaysart.com/newsletter. And I'd love to see what you drew. Share it on Facebook or Instagram, and be sure to tag Brian Mays Art so I can find it. See you next time.